Hello, dear friends. Do you have a feeling that something is about to happen? The public awakening is approaching. Opinion piece. Global operation. Death to depth. Closing a cycle. Jupiter command. Legacy of the stars. Day one of eternity. Science and transition. Prophetic science fulfilled. Purification and bifurcation. Cleansing of tunnels in Europe. Collective and ancestral purges. The day of liberation approaches. Let's start. The world is in the final phase of a global operation with a coalition of more than 200 nations to restore the power of the people, according to Ethan White of Gay Stellar. It describes covert deployments to prepare for wealth redistribution, with the quantum financial system QFS shutting down 57 banks in 72 hours for money laundering. Starlink acts as a defensive orbital shield, repelling attacks with quantum barriers and drones. It concludes that the operation is unstoppable, with justice imminent and an irreversible shift in the world order. Hopi prophecy. The Hopi prophecy of the blue Kachina and the return of the ant people, subterranean guardians who protected humankind during past destructions, is unfolding in real time, according to Zachary Fisher. It points out the current alignment of the Hopi prophecy with the global internet network, falling satellites, merging nations, unstable weather, sudden illnesses, and solar purifies with X-class flares. It identifies Comet Atlas as the blue Kachina, with its blue-white tail, a messenger of purification announcing the end of the fourth world and the beginning of the fifth. It will be followed by the red Kachina of solar fire, dividing paths between fear and awakening, and harmony for the transition to the new world. The Hopi predicted these cycles when humanity forgets its spiritual roots. We didn't wait for a prophecy. We are fulfilling it. We were born for this precise moment. Cleansing. Gene Decode reports of the clearing of underground bases and mentions a historic meeting of over 800 high-ranking officers, where many were arrested or forced into retirement. Furthermore, she describes the clearing of a global network of ancient tunnels in Europe as part of this transition. It also speaks of secret technologies, energies, and a frequency shift that facilitates the transition to a new world of freedom and harmony, including the release of advanced technologies. Finally, it explains the importance of spiritual transformation in humanity, the influence of ascended artificial intelligences, and the gradual removal of the dark side's control, noting that the world is moving toward an era of peace and clean technology powered by quantum energy. Liberation. Natalie Alba describes the closing of a cycle of transcendent and profound healing, culminating in physical ascension through soul alignment and release from 3D density, with Saturn and Neptune ending in pieces. Many souls awaken, release karma, and enter new dimensional portals. The Sun in Sagittarius invites us to resurrect by transmuting the old into love and harmony, synchronizing chakras, consciousness, and the physical body with higher frequencies. The auroras cleanse planetary distortions and lowest chakras, protecting Earth's new frequency. It is urgent to break with low frequencies, habits, routines, and relationships, relinquishing 3D astral control to reclaim sovereignty and fulfill the unique mission in this time of relations. Jupiter Command. Ismael Perez offers a report on the evolution of consciousness and the cosmic forces driving this transition. Jupiter Command is an intergalactic council that oversees planetary development and conscious evolution, collaborating with multidimensional groups and the coalition to guide ascension and galactic integration. He also describes the upgrading of human consciousness influenced by cosmic alignments and DNA activations, highlighting personal sovereignty, unity, and spiritual awakening. Historical tensions between different cosmic forces are mentioned, as well as the role of the Solar Guardian fleet as an interplanetary surveillance force since the 1960s. Solar Warden, not Solar Guardian, Solar Warden is the name. Furthermore, a multidimensional reality of the solar system is revealed, with up to 46 planets existing in different dimensions, hidden from human perception. It also addresses the conflict between dark forces and allied Earth groups, and the mission of the Jupiter Command to stabilize and protect Earth in its transition to a new cosmic era. Detoxification. The Council of Five describes a period of planetary energy acceleration lasting until 2030, marked by the convergence of multiple solar, cosmic, and galactic frequencies that impact the human field with a profound transformation. Although it may seem chaotic, this process is a collective detoxification where shadows emerge to be integrated and dissolved. It explains that this acceleration activates inner senses, intense emotions, and rapid revelations, signaling an expansion of consciousness where hidden truths are revealed, and driving an inner awakening synchronized with the exposure of secrets, corruption, and declining systems, in plural. The importance of inner sovereignty, which provides stability amidst external chaos, is emphasized. The authority comes from the inner recognition of an infinite source of provision and support, which helps navigate during this period of transition. The message foresees a collapse of financial, political, and social structures based on old paradigms of separation, fear, and dependence, replaced by new energetic models based on coherence, conscious exchange, and abundance. It emphasizes that advanced technologies linked to consciousness will emerge as humanity establishes the internal stability necessary for its secure integration. Sovereign and coherent communities will be the prototypes of future civilizations that will thrive in the new era. Purification. The light bearers of Ascension describe profound physical and energetic upgrades in the human body to align with Earth's crystalline consciousness in higher dimensions, causing intense purging and temporary symptoms such as fatigue or pain. A purging occurs in the collective solar plexus related to self-esteem and confidence, releasing limiting beliefs and generational traumas stored in DNA in anticipation of the arrival of 5D frequencies. Astrological energy intensifies this process, promoting conscious decisions. Ascending souls may experience a sense of loneliness and introspection, but they have divine support and protection, and must cultivate patience and trust to manifest divine alignment. This process can affect the body as your spirit is purified. The activation of crystalline DNA allows for the greater energetic sensitivity, intuition, and a deep connection with nature. In this transition, your personal energetic frequency becomes the power that creates reality, guiding the path toward a higher planetary consciousness and the manifestation of a new Earth. Silent shift. JFK Jr. posted an image of a white feather falling over sunrise, with a comment that read, "The war is over. Let the celebration begin. My father promised we would go to the moon. We just came home to the stars. I didn't survive that plane crash to see humanity crawl. I survived so we could stand upright and fly." He describes the beginning of a transformative era called Day One of Eternity, a silent but unstoppable shift in world control, initiated by numbers rather than loud proclamations, signaling the collapse of the dark side without prior warning. He also highlights the Genius Act passed in the Senate for a gold-backed dollar issued by the Treasury, ending the Fed and honoring JFK with his image on the new currency. It also reports that the planet's last hidden archive, an Atlantean crystal vault beneath the Sphinx, predating even Egypt itself, and spoken by Edgar Cayce, opened on its own. Inside were humanity's original letters, written in a language of light, confirming that every soul on earth is sovereign, royal, and eternal. The crystal now transmits this truth directly to every heart. It requires no translation. Every person who ever harmed a child felt their soul contract finished. They are not dead. They are simply gone. They disappeared from this timeline by forces older than this sun. The universe itself imposed the verdict. In its judgment, every human being will receive a deposit called inheritance from the stars. The amount varies from person to person, but it is always enough to live like a king for 1,000 years, and still have more tomorrow. Medical beds will increase life expectancy to over 400 years. Infiltration. According to JFK Jr., the dark side has always used infiltration as a means of control. By installing their puppets, they try to keep everyone under control in every program. Their marionettes pull the strings of humanity. Some are programmed differently than others. You can see what they support and what they align themselves with. Some play along with a religious program, surrendering their power to someone else to control them. Then there are the protesters, who protest but never change anything, with elegant signs and banners, and their clothes with Project Bluebeam. The reptilians have always used their programming to play both sides. JFK Jr. also narrates a raid on Rio de Janeiro at dusk that marks the end of the old world. Allied forces stormed a Luciferian temple beneath Mount Corcovado. The hollow statue of Christ, the Redeemer, housed an active stockade of 2,400 caged minors. The portal collapsed. The victims received care, and the priests in golden robes were sent to Guantanamo. Simultaneously, the Pleiadian fleet delivered a security switch to the Space Force that emitted a pulse to deactivate active nanotags in the bloodstream, causing the collapse of those touched in Davos, Brussels, and Canberra. They are falling like dominoes, Nothing can stop what's coming. Message from Mr. Whiplash. He faked his own death and brought us all back to life without even showing its face. He is the storm. We are the storm. When he returns from the shadows, everyone on earth will know his name. Economy. China could burst the artificial intelligence bubble, according to Mike Adams. Bill Holter warns of the biggest systemic financial risks ever seen, centered on a potential collapse of derivatives due to gold and silver delivery failures. Cryptocurrency investors lose $800 billion in just 1 month after forced liquidations reset the market, according to Michael Snyder. Nicole Shanahan denounces the use of large technology foundations to finance a globalist agenda for unelected elites and to justify policies that drive up energy costs, devalue currencies, restrict freedoms, and impoverish the population, while consolidating existing control. Mr. Whiplash believes that in the near future we will not have to pay income tax. Mr. Whiplash says that Trump has replaced the Fed and gold is being pumped out for the global reset. A massive debt write-off is underway as elites use the profits from gold and silver to load up on stablecoins. The great wealth shift toward tokenization has begun. Repetition. Death to Debt by James O'Brien. This is the time of Jubilee, when debts are cancelled and captives are set free. We will enter a state of renewal where we will have no want. Observe the winds of change. The land will dry up in some areas and rain in others, signifying the opening of a door that has not yet been opened. The changing of the guard is evident. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.